Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. I'm your host, Jeff Crilley, and I'm thrilled to have Mike Thakur. He's the founder of Work Lodge.
Hey, Jeff. Good to be here.
Thanks for being here. So I am so impressed with your company, and so what we're going to do is roll a little videotape of, I think it's your Houston operation. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And shared space is really hot. I mean, you're in a really hot industry.
Yes, it is. I thought I had a great idea, and unfortunately it was a little too great, and so there's a whole lot of them around now, but we're having fun with it, so yes, sir.
But there's something really magical about your space because you're not all about the almighty dollar. Obviously, you're a for-profit and not a non-profit, so you'd like to make a profit, but it's not all about the almighty dollar with you, is it?
No, it's not. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to build a business that obviously makes a profit, but then we wanted to see what could we do with that as far as making it have a purpose. And so, nowadays people talk B Corp and they talk social enterprise. Again, 5 years, 6 years ago when I was first having these ideas, I'd never come across any of that. I just knew that there had to be a way that we could sustainably generate revenue and use it to make a difference in the world and help change lives. And so, we've been blessed enough to be able to do that over the last few years, and we're sure going to do our best to do a little bit more in the days to come.
Well, give us an example. I know you did a lot of work in Houston.
Yeah, so in Houston, we work with a number of organizations. We help rehabilitate victims of human trafficking. That's an area of focus for our nonprofit. We give away about $1 million in food every year to families in need, both in Harris County and Montgomery County. And we've been doing that for a number of years now, thanks to some partners that we work with. And we also work with some other organizations who help underprivileged children and underprivileged families. Try and rehabilitate, homeless folks, have a halfway house where they can go and learn skills, retrain, and then get back into being a productive member of society. So for us, it's not just about help, but it's about how can we help in a way that they're going to then be able to sustain themselves moving forward. Teach someone to fish, right? Not just give them the fish.
Yes.
And so that's what we're always looking at, even with the bigger projects that we've done overseas.
And you were a pastor at one point?
So yes, I've worked for nonprofits for a number of years. Been a kids pastor, been a youth pastor, planted a church out in North Houston. So done the rounds. But
that's very cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Your faith is, I know, a big part of your business. Let's talk a little bit about the design, and I want to. It's a fun place to be. I want to roll a videotape of a slide. It's like a Google slide, isn't it? Let's go ahead and roll the tape. That looks like a lot of fun. Tell us about that.
So when we were building the first one, we wanted to have a statement piece that really let folks know we want you to smile when you walk in the door. And so the way that the space is laid out, you walk in through the front doors and you can see the slide there in the background. We're child-free. It's just for grown-ups. Got to throw that one out there. But it was incredibly hard to get a slide. We actually had to go with an overseas company. We couldn't find a US company that would sell us a slide to install into an office.
No kidding.
So that's a whole different story. But, we tell people this. Look, when you get a big deal, when something goes well, if you go down the slide, everybody knows it's time to celebrate. We can give you a high five. It's kind of the unofficial Work Lodge way of saying, look at me, I'm killing it today.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't introduce my daughter and my producer, Sarah, because you're the one who found Mike for us.
I did. I love the Dallas Business Journal, and so when I saw the piece on Work Lodge opening in Dallas, I couldn't help myself but reach out, and then within moments I got a call from the CEO and founder Mike, who is in studio with us, and I couldn't believe just that instant customer service. I just felt that over the phone, and he was just so excited to get me in to do a tour, and I'm so excited to talk about the potential with Real News PR coming to Work Lodge, whether we want to just send our employees for a fun day. I can't tell you how excited I am to be able to go there, and I did. I went down the slide, and I say to Mike, hey Mike, this is like the largest and longest slide that I've ever seen in a co-working space. It's just so awesome. I mean, congratulations, Mike. It's fantastic. So much fun, and congratulations on the new location.
Thank you.
And design is so important. So, Sarah, if you'll roll some more pictures,
absolutely.
Tell us about why design is so important to the folks who are working with you.
Yeah. So when we were approaching what kind of a space we wanted it to be and how we wanted it to look, obviously there's always budgetary concerns, and I think our heart was really we wanted a neutral, safe kind of canvas to build on. And then we wanted to overlay and fuse just lots of energy, lots of vibrance. So we use colors, we use pops of colors. This is the nursing room in our Dallas location you're looking at here. Wherever you are in a space, if it's a lounge, if it's the reception, if it's the coffee break area, if it's the co-working space, we just want to make sure that you're feeling that energy and you're feeling that excitement about being in a space you want to get some work done,
Yes.
rather than that kind of dull, dreary, what time am I leaving because I just want to go home. This all started because I used to work from home. I spent about 5 years working from home, and I was about 3 years in. We homeschool, there's a lot of noise. I've got my own private office, but it's noisy, and I'm just staring at my own four walls all day. Even though I'm on the phone, it's not the same as human interaction. As people, fundamentally, we're built for community, whether it's church, whether it's the pub, whether it's whatever. It's just there in our DNA. So I went out one day to find some workspace. And I used to be in security, and it was very sensitive, and I couldn't just go work anywhere. And the only place I could find that even had an office available was 4 solid walls of drywall, this solid wood door, and it just felt like solitary confinement. And I went home and I said to my wife, honey, so this place was full, and I'd probably kill myself if I was there for 8 hours a day every day. Like,
how depressing, right?
How is this possible? Surely there's a better way to do this. I don't know anything about real estate.
The fluorescent lighting.
So here we are.
And so here we are, Work Lodge.
The reluctant entrepreneur, I guess, but it's working.
It is definitely working. So talk a little bit more about, you had shared with me offline the stories. Tell me about the science guy and the different personalities that have come through and the success stories.
Yeah, so one of the fun things I think early on was being able to actually interact with everybody that came in, because we're a brand new startup, so I'm out there talking to all the potential members, selling space and everything. And so we opened, I think July 1 was our official move-in date of 15, and we had this doctor who came, and he was a cardiologist, literally saving lives every day, and he had this idea that he wanted to do a medical business on the side. And so he hired his EA, and I remember them walking in, and it was him and her, and I don't think she really knew what she was getting into, and I don't think he really knew what he was looking at. But they came in, they picked themselves an office, and over the space of a couple of years, it grew to 3 and 4 and 8 and 10 and up to about 20 folks. And then they built their own lab and testing facilities, and then ultimately they moved their team to the lab facility, which is great too. But just seeing that growth and seeing them go through that journey, just as we were going through our journey, was definitely encouraging. And another one of our early members was a science teacher. And he decided he wanted to create curriculum for other science teachers to make their job easier. And so he started off with one of our co-working memberships, which is really kind of, low barrier of entry, nice and affordable. And then again, over time, it kind of grew, and he got an office, he got a nicer one. And now he's like this podcast legend, and he's doing these talks all over the country, and he's rarely at the office, and he's usually posting some, phenomenal photos from whichever city he's in. And I guess he's living the dream. I haven't quite made it there yet, but it's just exciting for us to see. And I think for us, we genuinely celebrate because we really value people. We really want them to be successful. We wanted to build a place where people could build their dreams.
Yes. And,
if you do that, the money kind of follows. Has always been the approach we've taken. So we're just so excited to see things like that happen. And not everybody wins, but for the most part, we do everything we can to make sure they do.
Well, and I think you talk about living your dreams. I think you're living your dream, aren't you, by helping others?
Trying to, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have you come back. So tell everybody the website.
Website is simply worklodge.com. You can go check it out. And we're having a launch party today in Dallas. If you're close by, stop in the Design District 6 till 8.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.